Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game change.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Gals.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
There's something wrong with us. Something very, very wrong with us.
Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, yeah.
It's Mohr Stories. It's brought to you by Stamps.com. Look, also one of our greatest affiliates, of course, is Amazon. I tell you guys, email me what you bought and I'll read it on the air. Our friend Eric Diaz. JJ just bought some textbooks for school at USC. First of all, that's hilarious that anybody goes to class at USC. Windows 7. Why don't you just be like Deion Sims, the tight end at Michigan State, and steal a computer? And some fog lights, hyper yellow for my truck. Put your name on it, he writes. That's why I read that one. So thank you, Eric Diaz. You guys want to buy something from Amazon? Go to jmohr.com. Instead of going to Amazon, click the Amazon banner. In fact, instead of having Amazon on your toolbar, you put jmohr.com on your toolbar. And whenever you want to go to Amazon, you can click jmohr.com, click the Amazon link. Now, I read that one in particular, too, because our guest is our old friend, Joe Mcdonnell, my old friend. Almost 20 years, right, Joe?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
First of all, you look alarmingly different from the last time I saw you.
Yeah, I've lost a few 100 pounds since I saw you last.
Not too many people can say I lost a few 100 pounds.
Actually, overall total is 460 pounds lost.
So you were just an actual house with shoes.
Basically.
I remember I saw you once.
I was a beach ball with arms.
Round arms. How much did you weigh at your heaviest?
740.
How do you... Now, this feeds into, like, America's obsession with weight on both sides of the coin because we're obsessed with being fat. We love to eat. I have an aunt that's special. We've talked about her on the show, Aunt Christy, and her OCD is McDonald's. Can we go to Wendy's? Can we go to Burger King? And if I drive around the valley and I go to Wendy's and I get the double cheeseburger with bacon, I'll call Maddie and I'll say, no wonder the whole country's fat. This shit is amazing.
Of course.
It's so good. Wendy's fries, the burgers are square. We got to go back again. So America's fascinated with eating to become fat. And if you're not as fat as you think everyone else is, we're obsessed at staring, mocking, and making TV shows about fat people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I went through that my, almost entire adult life. I mean, I was an athlete. It was acceptable when you're playing football and, whatever you did. It's like, oh, he's just big. Then when you stop doing that and you're just walking around and, people like, they come up to you. It's like, how much do you weigh? What fucking business is it of yours? You get to the point where you become very bitter at it. It's just like, mind your own fucking business.
Well, probably more better at yourself that no one approaching you on the outside has any idea of the self-loathing that you probably walk around with all the time.
Actually, I never really did, to be honest with you. I was a different fat guy. I was a different fat guy. I never minded being fat. It really didn't bother me.
Shit. How do you not mind being 750 fucking pounds?
No, that I did. Toward the end.
You're pissing fucking gravy?
Toward the end, no.
Did you ever
cholesterol.
Did you pee gravy?
No, cholesterol.
Did you ever sweat gravy?
Out. No, olive oil.
Olive
I'm
oil.
Italian.
Attaboy. McDonald, I should have known.
Yeah. That was my mom. My mom was Irish. My dad was Irish. But no, I really never
I get my mom and dad mixed up
me.
all the time. Don't worry about it.
Well, mine are dead, so they won't be pissed off at me. No, honestly, it didn't really bother me till it started slowing me down life-wise. Probably the last year before I had gastric bypass surgery, it was bad. I was spending more and more time at home in bed and, just not moving around very much. And that, that's just the worst thing. Because once you start getting to that point, it's either you make a change or you die. That's it. There's no other choice.
It's the hardest thing when we watch like intervention and stuff and people got to quit drugs because it's killing them. It makes a lot more sense mathematically. Food, that's the ultimate mind bender because you have to eat to live.
Absolutely.
And it's like we talked in the past on this podcast about people that are bipolar. It's like you have to take these 7 medications or you'll die, but don't take 8 or you got to go to rehab.
Yeah.
Like, well, what do you mean? I'm taking Seroquel, Remron, Lexapro, No, don't take Klonopin. If you take Klonopin, you're an addict. But take these other 7 and you're just right. But food, you get to a... I remember the first... All right, you're a radio guy, and you are the host of Joe Mcdonnell Uncensored, of course, on Fake Mustache Studios. And you were our first... My wife wrote your name down as the guy we needed to get to have a sports podcast.
Did you really?
Swear to God, I'll show it. If I can find it, I'll show it to you. It was Brian Posehn, Joe McDonald, and Jim and Eddie. Like, these are the Jim Jeffries, of course. Like, he's Australian and British. Like, we'll sell tickets overseas in the very long vision, short vision, medium vision. You were the medium part, I suppose.
For once.
Yeah. So she's like, Joe is like, he's been everywhere on the dial. Everyone in LA knows who he is. And I always think like the local guys should all have a shot to go national. So now at the podcast, and it's Joe McDonald Uncensored, finally you get to be you. You're kind of a son of a bitch. You call it, you're like the Ty, you're not a racist. The Ty Cobb's I was going to say you're the Ty Cobb of radio, and I realized Ty Cobb's famous for being a complete racist.
Yeah, beating up a guy with no arms and doing all that stuff. I haven't done that yet. I can't say it won't happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
Joe.
It may happen.
You've been on every radio station.
In fact, I might beat the shit out of you before we leave today.
I hope you don't.
Well, I might.
I hope you don't.
It's a possibility.
Because then you'd have to take over Fake Mustache Studios and deal with everybody.
That's an incentive. Oh, wait a minute. You said deal with anybody? No,
everybody.
No, forget that.
Everyone's going to call you and go, where's my ad money?
No, sorry. Yeah, by the way, where is my ad money?
It's coming. That's why you're here. We're going to get the numbers up. You guys need to, so I can get some ad money for you. You guys need to subscribe to Joe McDonnell Uncensored. It's on the fakemustache.com website. You're one of those guys. You are the epitome of, holy smokes, that guy does not look like what he sounds like.
Oh, yeah. I think I always was. First of all, a lot of people thought I was black, because I always took the cause of, the African-American athletes and things like that. And I swear to God, I can't tell you how many people I would meet in public. And they'd say, you're not Joe McDonnell. I go, yeah, I think I am. And they go, no, we thought you were black. I said, nope, I may be the farthest thing in the world from black.
Why, because when you pulled on your pants?
No, that too. My wife can attest to that. But, I mean, I am like ghostly white.
Yeah, you're pretty white.
I'm whiter than you.
Well, I'm tan now, bro. Stop. Easy now.
Really? Must be the light. But anyway, I am ghost. I don't need these friggin' headphones. Forget it. I don't need headphones.
I'm starting to see why maybe you moved around so much on the radio dial.
No, I moved around.
I want headphones. I don't want headphones.
Today or yesterday, what is today, the 18th? Today actually is my 37th year anniversary of being in radio. The day they captured Patty Hearst, September 18th, 1975, was my first day in radio. And I'm kind of an anomaly in a lot of ways, but in this one, I've literally only been fired one time in 37 years.
I find that hard to believe. It seems like you've been fired a lot.
There have been a lot of times when I couldn't come to a new contract agreement. There have been times when the radio stations have been sold or changed format. But being fired actually only happened one time. That was in 1998.
Who were you fired by?
Some idiot named Mike Thompson.
I mean, what number on the dial?
Oh, it was 1150 at the time. It was called Extra Sports Los Angeles.
And the 1150, did they have the Dodger games too?
They did.
With Ross Porter, and I'm going to hand a microphone. That guy, I have no idea what he's dead now, right?
No.
Who's the guy that I'm thinking of?
Who's dead?
The Dodger games. He did he was in the Dodger organization forever.
Jerry Doggett?
No. Hi, everybody. I hand the microphone
That's
over.
Ross Porter. He's not dead.
Ross Porter had a microphone over my phone.
He's still working, actually, doing high school football games on the internet.
You know what he should do? He should do mumble festivals. Over in the microphone, Bull one, the microphone, and the microphone over to my partner, Rick Monday. I never knew what he was saying. And then he did the after. People would call in after the game.
Yeah, Dodger.
Ross Porter died today. Ross Porter, I appreciate you.
Ross is a great guy. He got screwed over by the Dodgers. There was no reason to fire him. None at all. He was fine. And they brought in Charlie Steiner, who, much rather talk about himself than he would the game.
I was at a Dodger game, and I saw Charlie Steiner, and I met Vin Scully, and just, pretty neat. Vin is a god.
He's the man.
He's the greatest that ever lived. And I said, who pitches today? And he goes, that fucking fat piece of shit Billingsley that's more concerned with eating than throwing strikes.
Who said that, Vinny?
No, God, no. Steiner. Funny.
Steiner did?
Yeah, and I was like, okay, someone not a fan of Chad. And Vin Scully, when I met
Chad's
him,
not a fan of Charlie's.
Probably not.
Which nobody else is either.
It seems like if you're an announcer for a team, the easiest ticket out of town is to say something critical of the team, which to me goes against everything the fans want. The fans want a fan, and they want a professional, but they also want a guy to say, this is terrible what's happening on the field.
That's why Chick Hearn was the epitome of the great announcer, because if the Lakers were playing crummy, he told you they were playing crummy, and there was no holding anything back. And Vinny is a little bit different in that way, but he gets his point across. He's not quite as straightforward as Chick was, but if the team's playing lousy, you're going to know it. He's going to say it, in his very calm voice, saying, well, I've seen them play much better over the years. He's probably saying these motherfuckers ought to kill themselves.
I heard him say that in the restroom. He was taking a deuce.
There you go.
Vin was dropping a deuce, and I saw his wingtips.
Yep.
And he said, do you have any toilet paper, G? And I said, no, how did you know it was me, by the way, in the next stall? He goes, well, Jay, this is a very popular glory hole, and I'm peeking at you take a dump right now, ball 1 to Ether. And I said, no, I don't have any toilet paper. And he goes, how about 5 fives for a $20 bill? Vin Scully talks like that all the time. It's so beautiful and a one-off. And when I met him, he goes, where do you live, Jay? I said, I live in the Pacific Palisades.
He used to live right up here.
He goes, my wife and I used to live in the Pacific Palisades, and now we live in Hidden Hills with our grandchildren.
Right up off Capri. He lived right near Riviera.
Now that my grandchildren are grown, maybe we should move back to the Palisades, and then, Jay, you and I would be neighbors. That's what he said.
Did he really?
It was like Vin Scully talking to you in play-by-play voice is how he talked. And when I was at the game, he goes, Andre Aethier with a strained oblique is listed as day-to-day. Long pause. I guess we're all day-to-day.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Wow.
Yeah.
How did LA hit the jackpot? Chick Hearn, the guy that does the Kings.
Bob Miller.
Yeah, Bob Miller and Vin Scully.
Dick Enberg for years.
That's right.
The great Dick Enberg.
These are the actual greatest sports voices ever. And
Al Michaels. Al Michaels was actually part of Chick Hearn's broadcast crew for about a week, until Chick decided, I don't want to work with anybody. At the time, he didn't want to work with a partner, so he made it fairly uncomfortable for Al.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And that was ended pretty quickly.
Johnny Most was the greatest.
Hello.
Oh, Mrs. Lambier, if you're listening tonight, hang up the telephone and don't watch the game because I'm not going to say nice things about your son. Larry Bird murdered under the boards. Where's the call? Where's the call?
Yeah, DJ with the ball fiddling and diddling, and the Celtics, I don't know what's going on here.
He had both legs amputated, Johnny Most. One arm amputated, and with the free arm...
He was third base.
With the free arm, he would pound vodka during the game.
Yeah, he one time set himself on fire in the old Milwaukee arena because he forgot that he had a cigarette lit and it dropped in his lap.
And he didn't feel it on his old numb balls?
Yep. And another time, he was having problems during the off season. Couldn't figure out why he couldn't hear anymore. So, I mean, it was getting really bad. Day by day, he was losing his hearing more. And when I'm not laughing at that, I'm laughing at why.
I am.
He goes to the doctor, and they go in, and they said, well, we see an obstruction in there. Let's go in and see what we can find out. It was an earpiece that was stuck in his ear, and he didn't even know it.
Like the IFB, like when the truck tells you like what you're supposed to say.
That's what it was. It was stuck all the way up in his ear canal.
So literally for the listeners, like if you're doing an announcing job, there's somebody in a truck that goes 30 seconds. We got to go to commercial. We got to get out. And then you realize you got to wrap it up. And then so Johnny Most had that in his ear, and after a game, didn't take it out.
Souvenir of the last game of the season, I guess. He was amazing. He'd say, "Yeah, we're here at Madison Square Garden. The game's going to run a little late. It's going to start a little late tonight because the Knick fans are late arriving. They're out in the parking lot sharpening their weapons."
With the jokes on that moron, because there's no fucking parking lot at Madison Square Garden.
Exactly.
It's in the middle of Manhattan. Johnny Most, you dick. The Knicks are making a run this year.
He's dead.